Hey guys, what is up? My name is Dabe and welcome to this video. So this one's going to be really untraditional. I'm going to start off by saying that this video is not going to be for everybody. This is just my quick theories and opinions based on what I've seen in previous PVM experiences is what I think will be good for Raids 2. Now, if I remember to put it here, let's get a little throwback to my thoughts on the original gear for Raids 1. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be bringing when raids are first dropped. Now obviously this is just a complete guess. We don't know what's going to be used, what isn't going to be used. For all I know, all of this could be garbage. Yeah, to be fair, it was pretty garbage. Especially for the fact that we didn't even bring freaking mage gear. We just brought tridents, dude. Oh, those first raids were so rough. Alright, let's get back into it and show you guys the stuff I have for raids 2. And yeah, so that was completely incorrect. So chances are this will probably be completely incorrect as well. This isn't the normal type of video I do on my channel. I just figured a bunch of people are asking me what my setup is going to be for the first day, because I do plan on going on a day of release, and I do plan on doing it on this account on day of release, because you guys know that even though I do have a maxed man account, I rarely ever play it anymore because I just enjoy playing this account way more. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm bringing and explain to you guys why I'm bringing it. I guess I'll just start from the top and then work my way down. So, first things first, Cerp Helm. I do remember seeing in some of the previews there was a bloated, pestilent-looking creature, so I thought, hey, maybe it'll venom you. Plus, it's basically Neat's Helm, a very minimal loss for range and mage, and it's good defensive bonuses. And the main thing I'm trying to capitalize, as you guys can probably see based on my setup, is defensive bonus. I'm finding to be like the most important thing. Fire Cape would bring Infernal if I had one, but no T-bow yet, so I'm not attempting it yet. To all the people who keep asking me when I'm going to do it, whenever I get a T-bow. I'm not bringing a Mage Cape switch because I don't think it'll be worth it. I'm bringing a Fury instead of bringing all the necklace switches because since this is the first day, and since this is not like Raids 1, to those of you who don't know, you will not be able to just make more potions inside the raid. Bosses will occasionally drop you supplies, but I doubt it'll be much, and since I'm an Iron Man, I can't trade between the other people in my group to build up more supplies. So I'm trying to just capitalize on bringing as much food as I can, and hence the Fury to save myself 2 extra switches in the inventory for other amulets. It's good defensive, decent amulet all around, so I don't see any problem with using it. Diamond Dragon Bolts, because armor crossbow. I'm bringing these instead of rubies for a similar reason. Diamond Bolts are just powerful all around, and I don't want to sacrifice HP for potential increased DPS until we know what we're actually doing. The reason I'm bringing the Kodai and the Mage's Book instead of the Trident is because I believe that Jagex has been doing this thing where they force you to use magic in just about every single encounter. They kind of have been doing these things where they're like, if magic's going to be used, you have to use the Trident. You have to use the Trident. And I saw a couple of the clips of these spider-looking creatures, and it looked like people were using ancient spells in them. So I figured, hey, I'll try this. I obviously can still DPS with it. I'm not on ancients right now, but I will obviously have ancient runes, and like, you know, runes for Ice Barrage and Blood Barrage in the pouch. Maybe even Shadow Barrage, because that could be helpful for, you know, okay, whatever. Not getting into that. But the reason I'm doing this is because it can still put out a lot of DPS. I don't really care about sacrificing some extra runes for the first raid or two until we know what we're doing. Blood Barrage will also be able to help me heal back up a little bit if there is a mage encounter. And utility, freezes are always good to have in case there is something you need to freeze. So, kind of worth mentioning. You know, this would be an ancestral top if I had one. So we're just not going to talk about that. Barrows Gloves, similar reason to the Fury. Instead of bringing the Tormented Brace switch, I think that Barrows Gloves, they're powerful all around, that I don't want to sacrifice an extra inventory space to bring a Tormented Bracelet. This Anglerfish, by the way, will probably be a brew, but I'll get to that. The reason I'm bringing the Eternals, because Pegs give such a negative bonus. You can see there's actually a 20 difference in my magic accuracy bonus here when I'm switching between these boots. And I don't think that boot takeoffs are going to be something I'm really going to be thinking about in the middle of trying to learn new bosses. So I think that that's a very worthwhile thing to bring as well. And lastly, of course, the Ring of Suffering. Very powerful. Once again, extremely defensive. I also have the recoil effect on. Similar thoughts to the reason people use it at Calfight Queen, because, you know, you reflect back a lot of damage. Seems like it'll be a decent thing to use. Also, before I ramble on any longer, if you guys have setups that you're using, or you think that I should change things in my setup, feel free to comment down below with your reasons why, because I'm actually really curious. I like hearing other people's opinions, especially if you're an experienced PVMer who's, you know, been doing things on release and has a lot of experience with raids, maybe even Inferno and shit like that. And I'm just curious what other people think, you know? As with all new PVM encounters, I'm always going to bring the blowpipe. It's the most overpowered, single-handedly the most overpowered weapon in this game, and I would be incredibly surprised if there is no use for the blowpipe in Raids 2. I'd be pleasantly surprised, but I sincerely doubt that blowpipe is going to be not used. That would catch me off guard. Armor switch for range. And then if you look down here, I have a Hasta. The reason I'm using a Hasta instead of a whip is because Hasta has stab, crush, and slash attack styles. Helpful for the first raid to figure out what we need. Obviously, we can switch things out later on. Once again, I'm mentioning this a million times, but this is my first setup. Like, once we do a raid or two, assuming we can do a raid or two on day of release, and it's not like raids 1 where it takes like 4 hours per raid, things will change. We'll optimize things. So, you know, don't lurch down my throat if you're watching this after day of release, because this will probably be a really cringy video to look back on and laugh at and think about how wrong I truly was on a lot of these things. The reason I'm not bringing, this is a big one, the reason I'm not actually bringing the tacits is because I don't think they're necessary. They don't really change much. I don't think they would even provide a max hit with this gear setup, so it's just a slight defensive increase. But I don't think that defensive increase is worth, once again, an extra switch in the inventory. And as for the extra items, I'm bringing a crossbow, because crossbows haven't really been utilized super heavily lately, and I would be really surprised if crossbows are not actually used here. I've been hoping it. I've been saying for a long time, you know, it'd be great to see crossbows get a little bit of hype back, besides just the Dragon Hunter crossbow being used at Vork. And the Dragon Warhammer, obviously, why would you not bring a Dragon Warhammer, dude? It's a freaking Dragon Warhammer. Of course you're going to freaking bring it with you. Tons of brews, couple restores. This is something that'll probably change ratio-wise a lot over time. And then a shitload of purple sweets. This is kind of something I only plan on bringing for the first raid, just to try and carry me through it, just in case things don't end up working out very well. You know, infinite stackable food in between bosses as well if we need it. Then just one superset, you know, super combat range, and then I have a stamina pot just in case. I don't know. They did say there were going to be some encounters that are very different mechanics than what Old School has seen before, so maybe there'll be something where we have to run around and tag different pillars and all that crazy shit. And like I said, the rune pouch will probably be Blood Barrage and Ice Barrage, because, you know, not right now, but that's what I plan on putting in there. I have spent a lot of time, I've stocked up on scales and Dragon Bolts, as you guys can see by the ones I have on. Stocked up on scales, have tons of potions ready to go. Fish, if I will need it. I sincerely doubt I'll need it. I have some extra chins left over from my armor grind if chins end up for some crazy reason being useful in there. I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm feeling very confident about this. I don't think this setup is going to be the optimal setup for more than maybe just the first raid, but hey, maybe I hit the 1 in a million chance and I just have an amazing setup. I guess we'll have to see when it comes out. Now, this is something I want to mention here, and I probably mentioned at the beginning of the video, but this is not my traditional video. I don't do things like this very often, but this is a special occasion. It's a big update, and I'm looking forward to it, and I have had a lot of people ask me what I am going to be doing. So on that note, I want to mention thank you very much to all the new subscribers from the Iron Man crafting video. I've gotten so many super nice comments, you guys telling me how helpful that video was, and, you know, thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. You know, positive feedback is always very much appreciated. And if you guys have any suggestions for the next Iron Man tips and tricks video that you'd like to see, right now I'm kind of tossing up between crafting and herblore, so I'm not really sure which one of those I want to do first. If you have any other suggestions, it could be anything from a skill to a boss to motivation, anything. Feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys would like to see in the next one. Don't worry, there will still be another Iron Comp video this Sunday, but I decided to do this as a midweek video because of the fact that I posted that seaweed video on Sunday with the previous Iron Comp. Since I saw so many people doing it, I want to make sure I got one of the guides out early. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope this helps. Once again, leave your suggestions of gear setups and things you'd like to change down below, because I'm curious what other people think. Have a fantastic day, and I wish you all the best of luck for Raids 2.